boom goes the dynamite. Or is it boom shakalaka boom? Sometimes I get them confused. Either way, you've tuned in to the free-range human show of choice. It's always your daily dose of reality radio. We ain't going to mess that up. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. It's the free-range human show of choice. I think I said that already. I'm a little off this morning. Broke up my routine some. You know, you ever messed your morning routine up a little bit and it throws everything off just a shade? That's where I'm at this morning. Nothing bad. I just left the house a little earlier, got to Flora a little earlier, decided, you know, I'm going to ride down to Martins Market. I haven't actually gotten here early enough in the mornings, and I'm not a breakfast person, but I had some extra time, and I'll tell y'all why in just a second. So I drive down to Martins, space age pimping but not 8-ball. I space age pimp on down to Martins, the new one in Livingston. I go in the market there. That's the full service gas station. I say it's full service. I don't know if they pump your gas or not, but you don't need gas where I'm going or with what I was in. Anyway, they have a cool little old school general store type situation there in front of Martin's, if you didn't know. Gas station. They sell bait, tackle, knives, cold beer, food, all sorts of stuff. But they have sausage and biscuits and fried chicken biscuits there in the mornings. They also have link sausage and patty sausage and sausage with cheese. They got every different way you can imagine. But I kept hearing about the Southern fried chicken biscuits. I'm like, man, I really want one of these things. Does it compete with the Chick-fil-A? That's really the question of the day. Let's just be honest. Now, there's not a Chick-fil-A anywhere near Livingston. There's one all the way back in Madison, but let's just be honest. No hit at Chick-fil-A. They ain't no Hugh Magoo's. But who wants to sit in that line in the mornings? I can verifiably tell you, as I wipe the chicken crumbs off my shirt and shorts, that the Martins Market chicken biscuit, Southern style chicken biscuit, is worth the ride out there. Especially if you're in the area. Even if you're not, do like I did. It was 15 minutes each way, just about, from downtown Flora, from WYAB back to Martins and back. I had an extra 30 minutes, so I did it. And I have no regrets, not a single regret. Now, if y'all follow me on social media, y'all know that I am driving a Tesla Cybertruck. I did not trade in my Raptor. I was offered an opportunity to do a 24-hour test drive and just kind of talk about it and whatnot. And I've never even been in a Tesla of any kind. Well, I did do a detail on one time, ceramic coating, but other than that, and I didn't even get behind the wheel. Other than that, I've never been in a Tesla, much less a Cybertruck. And I'm a tech nerd at the end of the day. I'm a nerd, and I love tech. And these Teslas, your politics be damned, are some of the coolest vehicles on the road when it comes to tech and technology. Well, I know tech and technology are the same thing, but they're really neat. They do a lot of fun stuff. They look cool. If you had told 12-year-old Clay, we took my girlfriend's son for a ride in this thing yesterday. I was insistent. I was more excited for him to go riding in this thing than I was me. I was like, no, I'll take him to the ballpark. Do not leave the house. I'm on my way. I was so excited to get him in the truck because I knew he would be excited because I was putting myself in 12-year-old, I was putting myself in his shoes, taking myself back in time, and how excited I would have been to have got to ride in the damn DeLorean, because that's what this thing is. This is the DeLorean. If Back to the Future was filmed now, it would be in a Cybertruck. 100%. Or let me flip the script there. If Cybertrucks had existed in 1985, that's what the DeLorean would have been. I mean, all that thing is missing is a flux capacitor. And boom, you've got Marty McFly-mobile ready to travel through space and time. 88 miles an hour. I think I'm on to something here, guys. I really am. But if you had told 12-year-old Clay In 1989, when I was 12, best year for music ever. I got to relive 1989 Saturday night in Pearl, thanks to City of Pearl, Jake Wyndham, Stacy, and the whole crew there. Brett Michaels, Warrant. Anyway, if you had told me, Clay, draw out what you think vehicles are going to look like in 2025, of course, the only difference is it would have flown. The wheels would have come up and gone under it, like in Back to the Future 2, where the DeLorean goes up and flies away. Is that 2 or 3 where it gets up and flies away? Anyway, is it the end of 3 is where the train flies away. Back to the Future 3 is wildly underrated. It's possibly my favorite, at least of the sequels. I mean, 1 is classic. Between 2 and 3, I think 3 is really underrated. The time-traveling train and all of that, I like that. I like the plot in 3. But that's just me. What do y'all think's better, Back to the Future 2 or 3? Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. So, I drive the Cybertruck down to Martins. That was great. My one nitpick, if I had to nitpick, is the way the steering wheel is shaped. You can't drive with your knee and eat and drive, which I guess is really a default safety feature. But I could have set it to drive itself, and I wouldn't have had that problem. But you have to be pulled over. You can't do that mid drive. But either way, it's really neat. The kid loved it, by the way. It's the most unique driving experience, being an electric vehicle. You take your foot off the gas, and it almost comes to a dead stop. You have to learn how to work your way off the gas. The brakes work, obviously, but it also slows down. I bet you don't have to replace brakes too often on these things because the way it spools, am I saying that right? Spools down, being an electric motor. Because it's actually a motor, not an engine. So like your car, your gas-powered vehicle doesn't have a motor in it. That's an engine. That's something we get very confused here in the South. Like when I give my phone number out, I say 601. We don't live in the 601. They don't have letters. They don't have letters in your phone number. They have numbers. It's 601. But a lot of us say 601. Anyway, it's fun to drive. I recommend it. Would I buy one? Probably. You would think living in downtown Brandon, close to the Tesla dealership, that people would have had their fill on seeing these things enough that they wouldn't break their necks when you pull up beside them at a red light. But y'all know me. I like attention, good or bad. I got the windows rolled down. I got Sirius XM 80s on 8 going. I think it was playing Devo. Ride that whip. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, the most goofiest 80s songs you could imagine. And somebody, and I'm not making this up, some future astronaut, rocket scientist, engineer, pulls up beside me in a V6 Mustang like they were getting ready to leave a car show, do a burnout, and run 4 or 5 people over. They pull up beside me on 80 there, right about the crystals. And there's nobody in front of them. They're in the right lane. I'm in the left lane. But I can't go. I mean, there's 6, 7 cars in front of me. I was landlocked. They wanted a race. I'm telling y'all, they didn't want that smoke, son. All these people out there with 4 or 5 vowels in their first name riding around this morning because they ain't been to bed yet last night in their Chargers, Challengers, Hellcats, Nissan Altimas, whatever. They don't want that smoke. That Cybertruck, give them all the smoke they want. And I'm not even driving the Beast that's got the 3 motors. I'm driving the regular one that's got the 2 motors. Son, that 0 to 60, it will throw you back in your seat. I'm telling you, I got a messed up back right now. You can punch it, and it throws you back hard enough in your seat that you can feel, that I could feel it was hurting my back. The pressure it was putting on it pushed me back in the seat. Now, it doesn't take much to hurt my back right now. Sitting down hurts. But anyway, it's fun. It's neat. Would I buy one? I would definitely want it I would not want it to be my everyday vehicle. I think I'm trying to decide, like, would the new wear off? Like having to get in that every day, But once you get in it, it's really neat. It rides good. I don't know. I'm conflicted right now. I love my Raptor so much. It's hard. I can't make a real. I wouldn't trade my Raptor for it. Not right now. I'm just enjoying my Raptor too much. But I recommend checking them out. The lease specials on them. I'm not trying to sell you one. They're not a sponsor, nothing like that. But I was a little surprised at how affordable the lease rates are right now on one. So I think if you're a business, and I told my buddy my buddy of mine is probably buying one today. That's how I ended up there looking at these things. And my friend that works there, and I don't know if she wants her name mentioned, she was just like, yeah, just take one for the night and see if you like it. I think if you're a business and you can afford the write-off, especially being a lease, because you can write off the whole lease payment, I think, on your taxes as a business, I think you're silly not to get one and wrap it at Lakeland Glass and Tint, wrap it with your billboard, with your logo on it, and you got a rolling billboard, for roughly $1,000 a month on a lease payment. I mean, have y'all gone and tried to buy like an $80,000-$90,000 truck lately and seen how much the payments are on those? $1,000 a month ain't that bad. I mean, it costs $3,000 a month to rent a spot. Generally speaking, like to get on a Lamar billboard, about $3,000 a month, a digital billboard, especially in a higher traffic area, and people only see that in blinks. And I'm not against billboard advertising. I think it's great for some stuff. Like I think it's great for a radio show to be advertising on a billboard. I've done it before. I've advertised this show on billboards on I-20 right there at Bass Pro Shops because I think you can literally say, listen to the Clay Edwards Show now till 9 o'clock or whatever. And boom, people see it. And then when the radio show's not on, there's really no point in advertising a radio show that's not on the radio right now. But I can literally tell people who are in their car, tune in now. It's worth it for me. Not at $3,000 a month, but they have other deals to that blip. Anyway, I'm not sitting here telling you how to buy billboards. You buy radio from me. And then I'll assist you in your billboard buying abilities. But if you got a business, especially something that depends on actual customers and you're not doing government contracts and stuff of that nature, and frankly, if you are, you still need the tax write-off. Get it, wrap it with your business logo on it, and man, I'm going to tell you what, you're going to get more eyeballs on that Cybertruck with your logo on it than you're ever going to get from a billboard. Memorable eyeballs, like people staring at it, trying to figure out what the hell it is. A lot of people are going to take pictures of it still because it's just so unique that I think the pros way outweigh the cons. If you're going to go get a vehicle and turn it into a rolling billboard for your company, especially if you don't really need it for a truck. I mean, it's got a 4x8 bed. You can fit a sheet of plywood perfectly in the bed. I don't know, man. It's pretty utilitarian, but more than anything, I would get it as a marketing tool. And I would ride around in it. I'd go get stuck in traffic in it, 5 o'clock traffic, 8 o'clock traffic, the whole 9 yards. Because the more eyeballs that see that thing, the more that are going to do your business. I maybe would put a QR code on it. See this vehicle, scan this. And maybe if you're a restaurant, maybe offer a 10% discount if they scan the QR code on your rolling billboard. So you can kind of track your ROI a little bit. Look at me giving you all these $1 million ideas. $1 million ideas this morning. All right, this is the Clay Edwards Show. That was my Cybertruck review. It's fun. It's really fun to ride. It's bulletproof to an extent. The windows, the glass can take up to a 70-mile-per-hour fastball. So I'm going to go ride through the hood a little bit when I leave here and just kind of test it out. Go ride through Jackson and just see what happens after the show today. So we'll see. All right, look, man, we actually got a good inspirational show lined up for you guys this morning. We're going to get through hour one. Got a few things I want to hit. Top of hour two. The title of the show today is 7 Struggles Men Deal With Privately. We did this on the very first episode of the Clay Edwards Show. Today is the 970th episode of the Clay Edwards Show. We're going to revisit those 7 things and see how my life has changed and how those things have come and gone and evolved, and if I want to add any other struggles to that and struggles that I've overcome, or maybe some struggles you've overcome, we're going to do that and more. Y'all stay tuned today. Going to be a banger. The Mazda of Jackson phone line, if you want to call in, is 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. We'll be right back on WYAB. Well, it would help if I had the schedule pulled up here so I could actually hit the resume button. Now let's try that one more time. Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. Streaming worldwide, WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. And in stunning 4K video, as I wear my FAFO shirt today. You can get yours at buyfafo.com. Anyway, stunning high def at Save JXN on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. That's right. We are streaming every morning in video for 2 straight hours. Sometimes we talk straight through the advertising breaks and do some special online stuff, and sometimes we don't. You got to watch and learn. Sometimes we go extra overtime, as I call it, on WYAB. If there's no in-studio show after this one at 9 o'clock, we go for a little longer, especially if we got a guest in here. I've been doing that a little bit lately, and the only place you can find that content, it does not go on the podcast, it does not go over the airwaves. The only place you can find that content is to watch live in video from 9 to 10. Today is not going to be one of those days. We got a big announcement about the show coming up tomorrow. Stay tuned. Could there be more Clay Edwards show on the way? Could Clay Edwards be launching an all-new show? Stay tuned. Tomorrow morning, we've got a big announcement concerning that. That's right. More of me. Maybe. We'll see. You'll have to tune in to find out. Real quick, this segment brought to you by our friends. We spent all that time talking about Tesla. Let's talk about Mazda of Jackson. Man, my good folks over there, the Carr family, awesome people, locally owned, locally operated. All the money spent stays right here in central Mississippi. And again, locally owned, locally operated. I can't emphasize the importance of doing business with folks that do business with you. Look, the weather is heating up, and the deals are even hotter at Mazda of Jackson. Right now, at Mazda of Jackson, you can drive home your dream Mazda with low financing rates available, 2.9% for 72 months on most models, or finance for 36 months and pay just 0.9%. Experience Mazda's award-winning design, exhilarating performance, cutting-edge technology, top-notch safety, and reliability. It's time to choose Mazda. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson in person. That's I-55 Frontage Road in Jackson. Don't forget, every new Mazda comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Guys, get over there and check out that Mazda CX-90. It is luxury redefined in an SUV. If you're looking at, let's just say, for example, a Toyota Highlander, something in that size-wise, you really need to go check out a CX-90. Also, something else I would think it would compare to is maybe the Lincoln Aviator, in that kind of that comparable size. So go check them out. You're going to be wildly impressed. I may see if they'll let me do a 24-hour test drive on one of those. I'll do a video about it, kind of show you guys exactly how nice they are. But you can do that yourselves a little bit. MazdaofJackson.com. All right, last night about 9 o'clock, the Clay was getting ready for bed, as I normally find myself doing about that time. Also about the time I wait to start doing my show prep. I get a call from a friend of mine, law enforcement officer. He tells me, Clay, we got you a brand new effed around and found out grand champion. I was like, this better be good. This better be good. Calling me at 9 o'clock. I'm kidding. Y'all know I don't go to bed before 11 o'clock any given night. But anyway, for dramatic effect, calling me at 9 o'clock. It better be good. Well, it was. Well, it was terrible. It was terrible, but it was one where I had no problems jumping up, turning from Clark Kent into Superman or Bruce Wayne into Batman, putting on my FAFO shirt, grabbing the belt up off the shelf, tapping it 2 times, and letting them know we got a brand new effed around and found out grand champion. And that man's name is Terrell Taiwan Hampton. And you may be asking yourself, Clay, what did Terrell Taiwan Hampton possibly do for you to make an effed around and found out video at 9 o'clock at night? Well, I'm glad you asked, because, of course, we broke this story, and we never get the credit when we break a story, ever. It's so funny. All these news organizations want you to get all their stuff just right, as seen on, as reported by. We break stories, nothing. They don't want to acknowledge independent media, especially this independent media. That's all right. That's a two-way street. So we'll use one of their sites here this morning, and we won't give them credit. We'll just read it. But I'm going to use the picture because I want to show the people on the interwebs what Pookie looks like. Future rocket scientist, engineer, astronaut. And it's rather apropos to call him an astronaut, too, because I'm hoping that he got blasted into space last night somewhere between his arrest and the time he actually made it to jail out there in Madison. If you're watching online, you see Pookie here. You see Pookie. What Pookie did was paralyzed paralyzed, well, I don't know, is Brad Sullivan a veteran too? Anyway, Madison County Deputy Sheriff Brad Sullivan, hero cop, shot in the head twice in the line of duty, left to a wheelchair for the rest of his life, placed an order on DoorDash from Academy Sports. The man ordered some shoes for his son. Some shoes for his son. What? Some shoes for his son. Some shorts for his son. Some shirts for his son. Pookie here goes and picks up the order and decides, and I don't know what kind of shoes it was, probably some Nikes or something like that. Pookies are very attracted to Nikes. They're like the opposite of kryptonite. They're very drawn to them. And he decided that he wanted those more than Brad Sullivan deserved them, even though he'd already paid for them. So he picks up the order, and then I guess you can, I've never been a DoorDash driver, but I guess you can pick up the order, then you can cancel the order somehow or another. Some shady nonsense. And so he stole the wrong guy's stuff. And he is now in jail. So I'm going to read you all the story here real quick, just so I get the details right. A DoorDash employee has been arrested after allegedly trying to steal the order of a retired deputy left paralyzed in the line of duty. On Monday afternoon, Madison Police Department received a call from retired Madison County Deputy Brad Sullivan regarding a DoorDash order he had placed at Academy Sports in Madison. In 2019, Deputy Sullivan was shot twice in the head while pursuing a kidnapped suspect. The chase left the father of two paralyzed on his left side. We all remember that sad day out there in Madison County. Deputy Sullivan explained to officers on Monday that he had placed an order for his son and that it showed the order had been picked up by a DoorDasher named Dennis K. Deputy Sullivan went on to say that he contacted the store and the manager told him Dennis K. picked up the order and left the store with it. A short time later, however, the order was shown as canceled. Deputy Sullivan never canceled the order. When Deputy Sullivan contacted the DoorDasher, later identified as Terrell Hampton of, where do y'all think Terrell Hampton is from? I'll give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count and tell me why your answer is Jackson, Mississippi. Culture rot, I tell you. Culture rot. Absolutely voted for Chokwe Antar Lumumba. probably held signs for him and everything, knocked on doors. Vote for my good friend, Mr. Chokwe Antar Lumumba, would you please? He supports criminality. He supports felons, which I support felons too, who have gotten back on track, not ones who are continuing to make and break new felonies every day. Anyway, I digress. Through the cooperation of Academy Sports and investigative tools utilized by the Madison Police Department, it was determined that Hampton had, in fact, exited the store with Deputy Sullivan's merchandise, and his vehicle was identified. Smile for the camera, you dumb SOB. A short time later, officers were able to locate and stop the vehicle driven by Hampton. During the stop, officers found a firearm, marijuana, and the merchandise belonging to Deputy Sullivan. It's like the holy trinity of stuff right there. He had a gun, he had the devil's lettuce, and he had the stolen merchandise. I mean, the only thing I haven't seen yet here is possession of is felon in possession of a firearm. Let's see here. It says officers arrested Hampton for petty larceny, improper equipment, possession of marijuana while in possession of a firearm. Deputy Sullivan's merchandise was returned to him, and Hampton was taken to the Madison County Jail. And I love it. You know, Brad's got that page praying for Deputy Brad Sullivan, and they got Pookie's mugshot up there. It's a beautiful day when the good guys win. Hashtag good guys win again. Good guys win again. And that, my friends, is your latest and greatest effed around and found out grand champion. You know, you would think that you might be smart enough. Now, I know that's a stretch. But, I mean, they are future rocket scientists, engineers, and potentially even astronauts. But, hell, Katy Perry could be an astronaut, so that's not saying much. The bar is mighty, mighty low when they send them up to space in a penis-shaped spaceship. Oh, the jokes write themselves. Anyway, you would think they might be smart enough to, I don't know, get the hell out of Madison County where you committed the crime. I mean, how did you... Now, look, y'all know, I've been a proponent for marijuana, for medical marijuana. I have. And I give people the medicine they need. I am not necessarily a proponent for adult use or recreational use. You know, I waffle back and forth on it. But, man, I know there's a lot of responsible users out there, so I don't want to punish responsible users. But it sure seems like all the Pookies in the world, and Pookie's not a black thing or a white, the Pookie's just an idiot. Pookie is an idiot. It sure seems like all the Pookies out there all get busted with the same thing. Marijuana. It's almost as if it causes people to make bad decisions. Or the people who are just making bad decisions coincidentally all in possession of marijuana. It's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Interesting. Anyway, it's almost like he didn't know that Academy had cameras and he would get caught. Because this is a pretty bold, and by bold I mean stupid, crime to think you're going to get away with. And yes, I did just spend a whole segment giving away an FAFO championship. And you can go watch my video that I made about it last night. It is not safe for work. Do not watch it around your kids. The F and the FAFO got used several times for dramatic effect, of course. You know, people ask me all the time, Clay, do you really have to cuss? And I tried to quit for a little bit. I did. But I'm just going to tell you, the videos just don't have the same effect when you say, fool around and found out grand champion. It just don't work. It just don't work. And plus, you know, while I appreciate the people who aren't knuckleheads that enjoy those videos are actually made for the knuckleheads out there. It's them I'm talking to. They're the desired audience. It's to publicly humiliate them and shame them into hopefully not wanting to become the next effed around and found out grand champion. We got to take a break. We'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show. Don't forget, coming up in hour 2, it's going to be a really cool hour. Hopefully, if you know a guy if you know any man, frankly, or a woman, but as a man, I'm talking to my men out there. You got any men that's going through any personal struggles, I got a cool hour lined up for you. We're going to talk about the 7 struggles men deal with secretly. We all deal with them. We're going to talk about them. Hopefully, we'll engage some phone calls, some text messages on the Mazda Jackson phone line and the Guns and Gear text line. Going to be real cool. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. La Quinta. Am I saying your name right? La Quintus. Yes, man, the Teslas do look badass when they're tricked out. If I was to get a Tesla truck, a Cybertruck, I would absolutely have to put some rims on it. Like some rims and a bigger tire. Because the suspension's badass. You can lift and lower it. It can almost look like it's lowered. Or I've got it raised up as high as it'll go right now. And you could fit a nice off-road tire on there. It's got an off-road version. I mean, I went through and played with it a good bit last night. You can turn each seat into a whoopee cushion and make it fart. So like anytime somebody sat down in that seat, it would fart. I mean, you could really have some fun in it. I mean, it's childish, but it's funny at the same time. Barbershop Bob watching on YouTube. Good morning, my friend. Barbershop Bob. I like that. Good morning, my friend. Milo says, I love Lincoln's. Milo's Barbershop. Man, we got the barbershops watching this morning. I love it. Shout out to the barbershops. Jeremy Dole, what's up, brother? Watching on YouTube. One of our daily viewers, I love offers. Watching again this morning, commenting. Always appreciate the engagement. Helps a lot. My buddy Marshall, watching on YouTube, says, I know you are for a casino, but imagine it would be like the Back to the Future after 2 years. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Well, you can't let what it may become stop it from becoming something, right? If it happens, it happens. It's better than what's down there now. I mean, just think about the jobs it creates while they're building it. Think about owning a restaurant or a food truck in that area with all the construction and stuff that would be going on. It would be great for the economy short term over a couple of years while they build it, if nothing else, right? And then it would take at least a couple of years for them to screw it up. So I'm pro casino. I'm pro economic development. Like come up with a better idea. I'm not talking to you, Marshall. I just mean like people in general, like the opponents of it. Come up with a better idea. I mean, I think that's fair. Greg Piggott, good morning, brother. You like Back to the Future 3 also? I do too. I mean, I love 2 because it's in the future, so it's kind of fun. It had the hoverboard and all that. Now, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, the hoverboard was pretty iconic. But 3 is just a good movie. I may go back and watch that. I got some downtime today, I think. I might go back and watch that. I wonder if my girlfriend, she's younger than me. She's like 10 or 12 years younger than me. I wonder if she's watched all the Back to the Futures past the first one. We may have to have an 80s movie night. John Carter says he likes 3. Good morning to you, John, as well. Jana. Gosh, I always butcher your name. Like I feel like I say it different every morning. Is it Joanna? Is it Jana? Said, will you be the owner of the new machine? Probably not. Not right now anyway. All right, we got to be quiet coming back from the break, so y'all stay tuned. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on WYAB. I mentioned Lakeland Glass and Tint earlier about if I bought a Tesla Cybertruck, I would get it wrapped and turn it into a rolling billboard. That's exactly what you should do with whatever you're driving. Now, if you own a business, go by Lakeland Glass and Tint, get them to wrap it with your logo. They can design it. They can do everything. All you need is the vehicle and the ends to pay for it. And boom. And look, not every design team is created equally. We don't talk about that a lot. I'm going to keep it short, 30 seconds or less, I promise here. I'm trying to shorten up these live reads. That don't count, so I got to add 10 seconds back to it. Yes, other places do, in fact, wrap vehicles. But everywhere doesn't have the artistic, creative geniuses like Lakeland Glass and Tint have to turn your idea, to turn your logo into a design that works on a wrapped vehicle. See, it's way more than just slapping your logo on the side of it. Every body style is different. Every vehicle is different. Everything isn't just a big white panel van that you can just slap a logo on. You got curves and contours and this, that, and the other body lines that you got to contend with. Let the crew and their technology that they use to design these things custom create you a rolling billboard that's just right for your brand and your marketing message at Lakeland Glass and Tint. Of course, they do windshields, they do glass, they do window tint on home, business, and automotive. You already know that. And, of course, they do ceramic coating as well. They use Expel products. They're the Expel Installer Dealer of the Year, I think 3 out of the last 4 years or 3 years in a row or something at this point. That's phenomenal, a worldwide company, and their number one installer dealer is right here in Flowood, Mississippi, with their brand new location in downtown Brandon, Mississippi, doing windshields and window tint. That's Lakeland Glass and Tint. Get you a free quote today at lakelandglassandtint.com. But I say it all the time, if you are going to get your slightly used or very used vehicle ceramic coated, you need to go by and see them in person. Set some expectations, understand the amount of work that goes into it, set your goals, your expectations. The price may vary is what I'm trying to tell you there. Go and see them in person there at the Flowood location. All right, back to it. That's lakelandglassandtint.com. I want to clear one thing up. One of our YouTube viewers said Brad Sullivan should be on disability and not having to work. Still can't believe Mississippi says you need to be shot more in the head than receive it. Brad's not working, my friend. Brad is retired. I don't want to get into Brad's personal financial business, but Brad's not working. Brad, I don't know if it's disability or retirement, whatever it is. Brad's not working. Brad wasn't door dashing. Brad got something door dashed that got stolen. I just want to make sure we're 100% clear there. Brad's not out door dashing. So just in case I somehow misworded that or said anything wrong there, I don't want anybody thinking that, because that was not the case. Brad ordered something, and some thug, some pookie, decided that he needed it worse than Brad. And, that's the second time in a week that some pookie has effed around and found out there in Madison by running some scam, some scheme, some plot, some shenanigans. What? And gotten their butts arrested because they ended up stealing from the popos. Those 4 rocket scientists, I can't even say scientists right anymore. Those 4 future rocket scientists, engineers, and astronauts that got arrested for that credit card, debit cards skimming scheme out in Madison last week. What got them on the radar was they stole almost $500 from a high-ranking local law enforcement officer. We'll just say that. And that's when the button got pushed. And by the end of the day, they mugshots was all over the local news. You don't play around here. I'm telling you, y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn that Madison and Rankin County ain't Hines County, ain't Jackson. The stuff that's been allowed to go on in the criminal safe haven of Jackson, it ain't allowed to go on in the neighboring areas. It's called County Line Road for a reason. It's not just a fancy little cute name that's easy to remember. There's the south side where the shenanigans are allowed to pop off. And there's the north side where if you F around, you will in fact find out. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I know you don't because you're not awake right now. But in my mind, you are. You're going to go back and you're going to, thugs, you're going to listen to this on the podcast. They're going to watch these videos I turned this into. I mean, it's like a warning label. Don't do it. Let me give you the advice that the dad you never met should have. Keep your foolishness in Jackson. You bring it outside the borders of Jackson, you going to jail, son. Jail. Jail. I had a Pookie moment there. My JPS GED snuck up on me there. All right, we got to take one more break here for the top of the hour. Coming up in hour 2, 7 struggles that men deal with secretly. Things we're going through that we're afraid to talk to our significant others and friends about. I'm going to talk about them. I ain't scared to bear it all for y'all. It's what I do. It'll be brought to you by Men's Health of Mississippi. Something else that I know y'all are scared to talk about, uncomfortable to talk about. Y'all need that little blue pill? Men, you need that little blue pill? Go talk to Scott McCullough out there at Men's Health of Mississippi. He'll get you hooked up. He'll get you going back down the straight and narrow. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, here for the next 30 seconds to the top of the hour break. News break here on WYAB. Again, we got a big show coming up in the second hour. I hope you guys will stay tuned. If you know anybody that's going through any struggles right now, tell them to tune in to WYAB 103.9 or get them to watch online at SaveJXN on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Men, talking to y'all in the next hour. We're going to try to help you out. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Don't go anywhere. All right, online audience, I'm going to stick with you guys for just a second here. I need a plug. I'm going to do a free plug here for somebody. You know, I messed my back up Saturday. Just something really simple. Just bent over, moving extension cord, didn't lift anything heavy. And, man, I pulled a muscle. I thought it was a slip disc, but apparently it's a muscle spasm or something or another. Like, it did some deep tissue damage. And, I mean, it felt so bad. Like, it's all right. It's like right above my waist. It feels like a bullet went in, and it feels like it came out on the bottom of my ass. I mean, it's crazy how it'll start hurting in one place and then finishes hurting in the other. But with that said, I reached out to a friend of mine who works at a chiropractor's office, and they were able to get me in pretty much short notice, walk-in kind of thing. And, man, it helped out. It still hurts. I mean, there's no instant fix to this thing. It's going to take some physical therapy, you know, and really working this thing. But I want to give a shout out to Clayton Pitts, and I think it's called Prehab. I think that's what they call it now, Prehab. He's a chiropractor. It's located on Lakeland Drive in Flowood, right behind Primo's, right on Lakeland Drive. If you need a chiropractor and you don't have one, I highly recommend Clayton Pitts. Did a phenomenal job getting me lined up. I mean, popped everything, my feet, my joint, my knees, my neck. They put that TENS unit on my back, which sounds like electroshock therapy through. And I've got a smaller one at the house that I've had for years, and they work. They do. But they have an industrial, commercial grade one that they roll in, and they put it up to you, and it's a whole different beast. And they put it on my lower back for about 30 minutes. It was the most sensational, relaxing feeling. It's like a deep body massage drilling into your back. Imagine like a woodpecker. It felt so good. And then he did the chiropractor stuff, and my back still hurts, but I feel a lot better. I feel that it's going to work. I'm going to get a real massage too. And he could tell I was tight. Like he was messing with my calf for a minute. And it, like I'm kind of ticklish or whatever, but my muscles were so tight that I couldn't help but laugh when he's like, man, you are as tight as anybody I've ever been, ever tried to loosen up or whatever. But anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to to Clayton Pitts. I don't think he's a doctor, but Clayton Pitts, chiropractor. The name of the facility is Prehab. And you think it used to be something different. Maybe you had a business partner or something. I could be wrong on that. But either way, same location, right there. I do not care. I don't care who I upset, who I make mad, who doesn't like me, who likes me. I mean, I appreciate it. But I'm completely at the point where all give a dams are out the window. All right, y'all stay tuned. I'll be back in about a minute and a half. And we got a good second hour lined up. We're going to be positive in the second hour today. All positive. I'm telling you, if y'all know any men struggling with anything, tag them in the comments here. Hopefully they'll see this and we can help them out with any struggles they may have and be going through. We're going to let them know that other people deal with this stuff too. Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour 2 of the Man Show. It's the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app, Alexa, and wherever you may be watching in stunning HD, Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble at SaveJXN. I'm asking you right now, if you're watching online, tag a man in your life that you think might be going through some struggles of any kind. And I don't just mean addiction either. That's probably going to be the least of the things we talk about this morning, or addictions. There's so much attention paid to addiction that we ignore so many of the other things that men are going through that's not addiction related. Like I said, we're just so obsessed with addiction, and for the right reasons. I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on the people that are focused on helping people with addictions. But there's other things that men go through every day, well beyond addictions to drugs and alcohol. And we're going to talk about those 7 things this morning. I don't think there's a better sponsor to mention right now than Men's Health of Mississippi. There's so much of these things that can be helped by, you're getting your testosterone levels checked. And it's not just your testosterone levels. They're going to check all your other hormone levels as well and see where you're at. Maybe your estrogen is off. Maybe you have too much estrogen and it's making you emotional. Maybe you don't have enough estrogen. You got too much testosterone and it's making you emotional. Let them check all that out. Free. We're going to get you hooked up with that for free. All you got to do is text my name, Clay. Let's keep it simple, stupid here. Text my name to, pull it up here, 601-327-8550. Just text Clay for a free testosterone screening at Men's Health of Mississippi to 601-327-8550. If you're suffering from, but not only, these are just some of the symptoms, you could be suffering from low T, fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, that's your sex drive. Ask your wife or significant other how your sex drive's been and tell them to be honest, and they'll tell you if you're suffering or not. Also, sleep disturbances, brain fog, lack of motivation, depression, all of those could be symptoms of low testosterone. Text Clay to 601-327-8550, and let's get your testosterone levels checked and see where you are at. Another thing, I've joked around about it so much, but it's so real, is, guys, if you wake up and you're struggling or you notice that morning wood has disappeared, that's usually a sure sign that you have low testosterone levels. Is that morning wood's gone. So you know, in the car this morning or wherever you're at riding around, that if that's an issue, you're well aware, and you need to be texting that number. All right, let's jump into it, man. The first episode ever that I did of this show as the Clay Edwards Show on WYAB, not the Save Jackson podcast or anything like that. I'd gone to a men's retreat at Hickory Ridge Baptist Church on a weekend. This was going to be called Save Jackson Radio. That was going to be the name of the show. And it's teetered in and out of that, obviously. I went to this men's retreat, and this is the things they discussed, and it really, really hit home. I mean, some of these things I've dealt with, some I haven't. But I made these notes. I had to go back last night and listen to, because I lost my notes, I had to go back and listen to the first episode at 11 o'clock last night. So I didn't get to sleep till midnight. But I listened to it, I wrote it all down, and I got it all here for you. So we're going to revisit the first episode. I could have just replayed the first episode, but I thought it would be nice to, 4.5 years later, to do these with the ability of hindsight. So the 7 things men struggle with secretly. This is by Keith Boggs with Real Momentum Ministries. And I put that in there because I thought some of y'all may want to Google it and find it and maybe listen to him do a better version of what I'm going to do this morning. And I'm going to go back and find him myself because he may have some more stuff out there that we can all find very helpful or interesting. So the first one is, guys always like to talk about women with daddy issues. Oh, yeah, she's got daddy issues. Well, it's called the dad wound. Men have daddy issues too. That's right, women, we do. Men have daddy issues. You see it all the time. And it's not always an absentee father. It could be a piece of crap father. And I want you guys to chime in this morning. If any of this, do not hesitate to interrupt me. I want your phone calls this morning. The Mazda Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. I want to hear from you all on this. So the first one is the dad wound. You see this. Now, I've been blessed. I have truly been blessed. I'm nothing but transparent with y'all. I was raised by my quote-unquote stepdad. Him and my mom been together since I was 6 months old. And my real dad was in my life, too, until he died when I was 17. Now, we weren't that close, but he was there. It is what it is. But I never in a day of my life did I not have a man in my life to call dad. And that man is still alive. And I talked to him yesterday. He just had carpal tunnel surgery on his hand. He's in a bad spot. He's having to use his other hand. Wah, wah, wah. All right. Anyway, could miss up the opportunity there. So I've been blessed. I don't have the dad wound. I could have if it wasn't for my amazing dad who stepped up and raised me like I was his own. I could. So I'm very sympathetic to people that do, because I understand that. And that was something I wanted to make sure when I became a father that I did not leave my daughters with was a dad wound. I didn't want my daughter to have daddy issues. I mean, just being my child is issues enough. I didn't need to not be present also. So, yeah, a lot of men out there with the dad wound, and you see it a lot. I guess what I was trying to say, I've been around people, dated people who have kids when the baby daddy is less than desirable. Not the current situation at all, but in previous situations, been with people whose children's father was a piece of crap. And again, it doesn't mean not necessarily not because they're not present. Maybe it's the way they treated their mom. And they kind of see, and they think that's the way you treat women. You beat on them. You belittle them. You talk to them like trash. That creates dad issues. Because you pass that down. If Junior sees dad treat mom like crap, well, he thinks that's how you treat women. And especially if mom puts up with it and doesn't leave. And a lot of you women out there, you think that staying in a relationship through the tough times and dealing with that you're doing it for the kids, you're being selfish. You're doing it for yourself. Now, this is just Clay Edwards' opinion here, but I think that you're not doing your kids any favors sticking around for them to see you be treated like that and stay, and they think that that's what a healthy relationship looks like. And so you're just passing that down to them, and inevitably, good chance they end up treating women the same way. So get out if you can, because I think you're being selfish if you stay and your excuse is we stayed together for the kids. No, you stayed together for you because you didn't feel like starting over. Or maybe just the sex is good. Y'all are laughing, but y'all know that's a lot of it. Now, you just can't fathom them being with somebody else. You'd rather stay with them and be miserable and create a dad wound for your kids than you would possibly imagine somebody else getting that good from daddy. So that's the first one, dad issues. I didn't necessarily mean to turn this to an attack on women, but, whatever. Y'all know that's true. Now, not every case. Some women are kind of stuck. But you're only as stuck as you want to be. Like, you can get out of any situation. You just got to decide how bad you want it and how much you're willing to sacrifice to start over. What's your rock bottom? What can you bear? Number 2. Now, this is a big one here. The lack of manhood vision. Now, this is a big one. We could do a whole show, and we damn well might. We could do a whole show about the lack of manhood vision. You may be asking yourself, Clay, what exactly is that? Well, it is what you don't understand how to be. It's when you don't understand how to be the leader of the house, how to be a good husband, how not to treat your kids as friends, how to have mental and physical toughness. Be a man. Be a gritty, tough, hard-nosed man. Be a leader of men. Be a leader in your house. Lead by example. It's the hardest part. To me, of all the things on here, this is the most difficult one. Because you could be coming out of a dad wound situation and having not had the role model of a good father to teach you how to be or how to have strong manhood vision. I hope I'm giving this justice for y'all this morning. I really am. Because it's deep. So many men out there lack manhood vision. There's so much stuff online, and people laugh and say it's corny to watch these videos of these guys online. Like, I think Andy Frisella is a great guy to follow for this type stuff. But at some point, you just got to know the difference in right and wrong, and you got to want it. But you got to be if you're going to try to change who you are, if you're going to try to be a strong parent, a tough parent, it's the little things done right over and over every day. Discipline. Discipline to me is the hardest thing to conquer in this world, is to be disciplined. You can want it all you want, but are you disciplined enough to do it? To do all the little things over and over and over. It's like compounding interest. A little bit every day. And the next thing you know, 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, whatever it is, you see massive results. If you go back and look at a picture of then and now, I'm just using that as like physical fitness as an example. But there's so much more than that. There's manhood vision. Do you know how to make money? This is something I struggle with. I know how to make money, but I'm not responsible with money. Like what's the next level with money? Am I teaching my kids? Am I teaching my family how to be responsible with money, how to make generational wealth. I've not done a good job at that. I make decent money, but I live paycheck to paycheck, like so many others. You know, that is somewhere I am, as a man, that's somewhere I am failing in my life, is teaching my daughters how to create wealth. And when I say wealth, I don't mean being a millionaire. I just mean having something, you know, not living paycheck to paycheck. If something happened today and you're out of work for a month, are you homeless at the end of that? You know, that's something I've got to get better at. And I'm trying to surround myself with people to get better at that. I mean, like literally the only people I hang out with right now outside of the people that live in my house are people that I think are good role models and influences for me that I can learn from and that I want to strive to do what they're doing. And that, I mean, this is something I'm actively tackling. I had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day who is a strong enough willed individual. And I said, man, I need a manager. I know how to create money. You know, I've done what I've done with my brand, but I need somebody that can help keep me focused and treat me like an employee, so to say. Hold me accountable, because I 100% work for Clay Edwards. Someone who will hold me accountable, set goals, and take me to task when I'm not doing everything I can to accomplish those goals. I call them my two brother-in-laws, and then I've got this other man that I hang out with. These are all financially very successfully people who have done it all on their own. And these are the people that I'm trying to focus on and learn how they do it and how they remain financially disciplined to do it. So that's the manhood vision that I'm having the most trouble with personally. I feel like I've done pretty good in other spots. There's some things I'm trying to be. My youngest daughter's 22 now, so it's harder to be a parent than it is a friend, or it's easier to be a friend than it is a parent at that age, because there's limitations as to what you can tell them they can and can't do. So that's a balancing act, and it's something I should have been better at. But the paste is out of the tube, so to say. So it's kind of like walking a high wire act there. You don't want to push them away by overparenting at that age, but you don't want to underparent either and be too good of a friend that they think you're their drinking buddy. So that's something I've struggled with. We got to take a break. We're 2 down. We got 5 more to go. We got a half hour to do it. We're going to do it. Tag a man. Heck, tag anybody. It ain't got to just be men, but these are things that men struggle with that we keep to ourselves, that we're really bad about not talking to people about. I'm talking to y'all about it today. This is the Clay Edwards Show on WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Stonington Farm Grass-Fed Beef. Guys, this is another way to, what did I call it? Manhood vision. That is making sure your family is eating healthy, making sure you're showing your family how to eat healthy. I think that's a big, big, big one. And I mean, not just trying to weave sponsors into this, but I think that goes without saying. Your family's health should be one of, if not the most important thing outside of putting a roof over their heads that you're responsible for as a man. Is your family's long-term health, and eating good, clean meat and food in general should be on the top of that list. Learning how to eat properly to avoid obesity, diabetes, and all of that other stuff that comes from an improper diet, cancer, everything. Stonington, not to oversell it, but Stonington Farm can take a big step in going that direction and helping you out there. They're going to be up here in town next Friday, May 2nd, bringing the 100% grass-fed, 100% grass-finished beef. You just heard the commercial with Dr. Stonington. Katie, his wife, sent me this yesterday. She says, hey, this is Katie with Stonington Farm Beef. We're going to be coming to the Jackson area, Florence, Brandon, and Ridgeland on Friday, May 2nd. The special for this trip is roast, that's shoulder, sirloin, tip, rump, tri-tip, and eye of round, as well as chuck. All for, guys, for just $8.99 a pound for 100% grass-fed, 100% grass-finished, Mississippi-raised, grass-fed, grass-finished, mRNA-free, antibiotic-free, and steroid-free Mississippi-raised beef. Wow. How about make mom a roast for Mother's Day? This is a great Mother's Day special. That's what this is a Mother's Day special. Then how about actually get mom some and leave it in a freezer? You'd be, I don't know, the greatest kid of all time. I know my mom would be happy. Mom, you ain't getting none of this, but I mean, I'm just saying you would be happy if I were to do it. I'm kidding. Of course I'm going to get my mom some Stonington Farms. Look, they got a mini cow special going on too. It's a great option as well. 10 pounds of ground beef, 10 pounds of roast, and 5 pounds of steak, all for 10% off list price. And guys, they finally got it. They've got the grass-fed beef tallow that everybody's raving about. $12 a pint, $23 a quart. They got whipped tallow moisturizer for $15 for 4 ounces and $25 for 8 ounces. They got frankincense, lavender, sage, and unscented. You can reach them at StoningtonFarm.com. That's StoningtonFarm with 2 N's.com. They're going to be up here delivering next Friday. We made some grass-fed. I used a pound of grass-fed beef the other night on some dirty rice, and all that dirty rice is gone. Gone. It got ate up, son. So good. All right, back to it. The 7 things men struggle with secretly here on the Clay Edwards Show. I hope you guys are getting as much out of this as I am doing it. This is really the direction I'm trying to take the show, is away from so much toxicity. Don't get me wrong. We're going to do it, breaking rules when necessary. But I'm really putting forth a lot of effort in trying to take at least a segment or an hour every day and give you some kind of advice that you can use. I had to dig back into the archives to get started here, to get myself motivated. But that is my immediate goal, is to use a portion of this show every day to give you guys or girls some good advice. But I'm a man, so I'm focusing on men. Women, if you get something out of it, great. We love y'all too. All right. The first one was the dad wound, a.k.a. daddy issues. Number 2 was lack of manhood vision. That is not understanding how to be the leader in your house, how to be a good husband, how not to be your kids' friends, but to be their parent or their dad, and how to be mentally and physically tough. I talked about some of the things I lack. This is not me today throwing rocks from inside a glass house. This is me telling you the things on this list that affect me. And if I can help you in any way with this by understanding that other men go through this, maybe somehow I help you. That's why I'm doing this. All right, number 3, unprocessed trauma. Now, this is a big one. The word trauma has really, really become more and more Googled and more used over the last few years. People discussing trauma dumping on people is a phrase I've heard a lot. But unprocessed trauma, don't be afraid to find a friend that you can trauma dump on. That means tell your problems to. I went through something last year, and I had several friends reach out to me, and people that I wasn't that close with, surprisingly, and friends I was close to. I don't want to pretend otherwise, but I had several friends, reach out to me and say, man, I just want to know you're okay. You seem like you're going through something. You can talk to me. Philip Yarbrough was one person in particular, reached out, and right at the right time too. Me and Philip became really good friends because he reached out to me and just told me, dump it all on me, Big Daddy. And I did, man. And I really appreciate it. But unprocessed trauma, my notes here say got passed up for a promotion. You're bottled up a past breakup, a divorce, a failure. Maybe all this has led to thoughts of suicide. You go talk to somebody. I mean, I say go talk to a professional. That's what you're supposed to say. Go talk to a professional. Go talk to your preacher, your pastor. More than anything, just go talk to somebody. Talk to me. So I have found sometimes it's easier when you need to uncork and trauma dump, as they say, if we're going to use that phrase. I have found that sometimes it's easier to tell a complete stranger everything than it is your best friend or somebody close to you, because I think a lot of times we worry about telling somebody close to us everything, because then it's like you feel like they know something about you. You become very vulnerable then. Like they can hold something over you. And if you think that you have the wrong friends. So let me say that again. If your friends, if you're worried about trauma dumping on your friends, you got the wrong friends. If you're worried about that being used against you later. Me and my buddy Corey, we always got to joke around. We tell each other everything, because it's kind of like, even if we've had our falling outs and our bickering over the years, but it's always been like, well, we both know where the bodies are buried, so to say. We've never killed anybody. It's a figure of speech, but a mutually agreed destruction. Well, if you talk about me, I got things I can say about you. So it's always good to find a friend that will also confide in you. So it's like you both know enough about the other where everybody's pretty solid that you ain't got to worry about anybody running their mouth or sharing your business, because you know enough of theirs that they don't want put out there. So find somebody who will trauma dump with you. Anyway, but real talk there. I don't have a whole lot to say about that. I've been really bad over the years about bottling things up and waiting until they just get ready to explode before I talk. Me and my girlfriend now, we had a conversation about this the other night. We're still getting to know each other like that, and like really getting to know each other and learning what sets the other person off, and being able to have these conversations and it not be an argument. Like, we can have a disagreement and it not be an argument, but if you feel like, and this is leading to about corking things up. If you're with somebody and you feel like you can't talk to them because it's going to lead to an argument, so you just bottle it up until you do uncork it, and then it's a knockdown drag out, that's a problem. It's like everybody needs a little decompression valve along the way. So we had a conversation about that at dinner the other night. Just because we disagree on something doesn't mean it has to be an argument. And not saying that that's what we do, but sometimes I have prevent defense conversations. It's like, I'm telling you this now, so if later down the road you think I'm doing something, I'm not, because I'm going to be able to say, no, remember when I told you that I may just get something off my chest, but it doesn't mean I'm mad, or it doesn't mean I'm arguing. That's what I'm doing now. So it's good to have those conversations with people. Don't hold stuff in. That has been one of my biggest problems over the years, is holding stuff in and pretending things don't bother me when really deep down they bother me. And I can think of countless relationships, sexual, personal, whatever you want to call it, dating somebody, and friendships that are no longer because I didn't address problems when they were in front of me. I pretended they weren't problems and went on, and inevitably they led to the demise of that relationship or friendship. And it was usually over something really silly that just set it off and brought back the things that I had pent up and held in. Man, y'all are learning a lot about Clay today. When I first did this show, I don't know how many people were listening, but I know now with the audience size that we have, I'm telling a whole lot of people a lot of personal stuff here, but I hope y'all get something from it, and I hope that maybe somebody says, I'm going through that. It's good to know that somebody else has dealt with that. I don't feel so alone now. That's the point of doing this morning. We got to take another break. Unprocessed trauma took longer than I thought it would. When we come back, we got 3 more to go. We're going to have to zoom through them so we get all 7 in. This is the Clay Edwards Show. This morning, we're doing the 7 things men struggle with secretly. Reach out to a friend you know right now dealing with something. Tell them to tune in. Tag them in the comments. Shoot them the link at WYAB.com. Tell them to turn it on 103.9 FM. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Hey, real quick, what's for lunch today, man? Blue Plate specials. Today is Tuesday. Man, look, at McBee's, good luck even getting in on Beef Tip Tuesday. That's right, it's beef tips over rice with gravy. If that's not your thing, which apparently it's everybody's thing, it is their busiest Blue Plate day. Don't let that stop you. Still get over there, right there on Lake Harbor Drive. But hey, if you don't want beef tips, try the hamburger steak, the fried or grilled chicken breast, and of course the country fried steak. Maybe burgers, blues, barbecue is your thing. Man, I had a pulled pork sandwich from Burgers Blues Barbecue at the Bret Michaels Pearl Day concert from their food truck Saturday. I don't care what their Blue Plate special of the day is. I've been underselling Burgers Blues Barbecue, the barbecue part of their name. You know, it's so good they put it in the name, but I've been having a hard time getting past the burgers and the chicken wings to get to the barbecue. If I'm lying, I'm dying. It's the best pulled pork sandwich I've ever had. And I know I've been saying that about food a lot here lately. My taste buds have been out of whack, and they're just now really coming back, so food's starting to taste good again. The pulled pork from Burgers Blues Barbecue, maybe the best pulled pork I've ever had. They got 3 great locations. Go try a sandwich today. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm not telling you that I'm going to give you your money back if you don't agree with me. But if you don't think it's one of the top 5 best you've ever had, I need to know where the other 4 locations are because I want to try that. Swing by, see them today. Of course, they got red beans and rice with sausage or hamburger steak as your daily blue plates. And they also keep a rotating meat available as well. And we'll tell you about some other places before we get out of here. I don't want to bog you down with too much in one segment. But that is McBee's and Burgers Blues Barbecue. All right, let's pick back up. The 7 things men secretly deal with. We got about 5 minutes to wrap this up. These are 7 things we as men struggle with that we keep secret from people, that we are scared to talk about with people. So the first one was the dad wound. That's daddy issues. The second was lack of manhood vision. That's not quite understanding how to be the leader of your house, how to be a good husband, how not to be your kids' friends, and how to be mentally and physically tougher. 3, unprocessed trauma. That's bottling things up and not talking about them until it's too late and you uncork. Find you somebody you can do some trauma dumping with, and find somebody who's not scared to trauma dump with you. So you have mutually agreed destruction. You both know bad things about each other or things that you feel or make you weak or whatever it is. So that way you feel rather confident that they won't share your information, or go see a professional, whatever. Tell me something bad about you. I'll tell you something bad about me. I'll be your trauma dump buddy. I'll be your trauma dump accountability buddy. Addictive habits is number 4. We haven't talked about this one yet. Addictive habits. Guys, this is easy. I told y'all we weren't going to spend much time talking about addiction. That I think that sucks up way too much oxygen out of the room in every conversation. Don't do drugs. All right? Don't overdrink. But addictive habits can be far more than just drugs and alcohol. And this is where a program like Celebrate Recovery is really, really good beyond just the drugs and alcohol. That's it. Celebrate Recovery is way more than about drugs and alcohol. Are you addicted to porn? Apparently a lot of y'all are addicted to porn. I don't know how you get addicted to porn, but whatever. I'm not here to judge you today. I'm not. Are you addicted to food? Hand held high. Here, I, for one, have been addicted to food. I'll tell you a great way to break that addiction, other than prayer, is the compounded semaglutide out at Men's Health in Mississippi, Ozempic, whatever you want to call it. That will truly help you learn how to retrain your brain to push the damn plate away a little sooner. Text weight loss. Well, yeah, we're going to do this. Text weight loss to that same number that you text for testosterone, 601-327-8550. Text weight loss to 601-327-8550, and let them talk to you about the compound semaglutide. Other addictions that may be weighing you down include fitness. Are you working out too much? So I think addiction's anything that takes up too much time away from your responsibilities, from being a good parent, from being a good employee, from all of those things, from being the man in your house. Do you have something that is taking too much of that time that you could be used doing that, but you're doing it something else that pleasures you because it's what you want to do? That is an addiction. Again, it does not have to just be food. It doesn't have to just be drugs. It doesn't have to just be alcohol. It can be anything that's taking you away from having strong manhood vision. See what I did there? Tied them together. I'm getting good at this. For me, it's social media and chasing this. And I call it work. It is. But this takes a lot of time away, especially at home, what I should be spending with my family. And I'm trying. I'm trying, not hard enough, but I'm trying. All right, well, we're just going to leave that one at that. That's number 4. That's addictive habits. Number 5. Guys, do you have 6 people right now? If you died today, do you have 6 people that you are good enough friends with, that people know, like your boys, your clique, your circle? Do you got 6 people that your family could pick up and call today to be pallbearers at your funeral? Like, pretend you ain't got no cousins, brothers, anything like that. You got 6 people that your folks could pick up the phone and call today. It's okay to have friends. Don't believe that crap that people say about keep your circle tight. Yes, keep your circle tight to an extent, but it is okay to have friends. It's okay to have acquaintances. Be careful, who you let in, what, this, that, and the other, but it is okay to be close to more than one person. It truly is. Get you a crew of friends. This is something I have to do, too. I'm talking to myself a little bit here. I've let my circle of friends turn into a period. Get you some friends. If you die today, your parents need to know 6 people they can call to be damn pallbearers at your funeral. Don't have them having to call the preacher and see if any of the folks at church will do it for them. Any of your 4th cousins down the road. I love my cousins. My cousins shouldn't have to be the pallbearers at my funeral. I should have 6 friends kicking the door down to be pallbearers at my funeral. Number 6. Do you have a friend you can pick up the phone and trauma dump with? I somehow another added that split 2 of them up here. Disregard 6. We're going to make it 7. We're going to jump straight to 7. Stop avoiding confrontations. This is something that men have got to stop doing. Stop avoiding confrontations. Whether it's with your significant other or a complete stranger in a gas station parking lot. If somebody disrespects you, stand 10 toes down on it. Stand on your business. I ain't saying go fight in the middle of the parking lot either. But don't get punked out. Be a man. Stand up for yourself. But stop avoiding confrontations at work or anywhere else. Don't let people run over you. Stand up for yourself. You will feel a lot better about yourself if you stand up for yourself. Again, everything doesn't have to be a fist fight. That don't mean don't be prepared for it to turn into that, because some people ain't punks and they ain't going to take it that way. But there's a way to have confrontations without it turning into a fight. Stand up for yourself. You'll feel better about yourself when you do. Learn to fight. Start going to some jiu-jitsu classes, some karate classes. Learn how to stand up and strike. Go to the gym. Those are the 6 things that men struggle with that we can all start today fixing, that don't require a magic wand, that we're scared to talk about with other people. We'll be right back to land the plane for the day. All right, guys. That was the show. Thank y'all. I know that ain't for everybody. I know that ain't necessarily what y'all tune into this show for. But every now and then, I got to do a little trauma dumping. And that's what I was doing today. Hopefully you guys learn from this and can help you. And you know that other people are out there dealing with things. There's a lot of stuff that we deal with as men that we hold in. If anybody wants any of these notes, let me know. I'll copy and paste it, shoot it to you. The guy's name that this came from, again, was Keith Boggs with Real Momentum Ministries. Keith Boggs, Real Momentum Ministries. I'm going to copy and paste this and drop it in the comments here. And y'all should be able to Google that, YouTube it, whatever. There you go. Y'all should be able to find that if you need it. And I'll go back and look at these comments. I think Dominique has what trauma dump confused here. I don't think that's what trauma dumping is, Dominique. Anyway, I'll go back and read the comments later. I got to close out the show, let the other folks get up in here. Y'all have a blessed one. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Same bat time, same bat channel.